Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be kind of like a favourites video, but more of things that are making me happy at the moment and things that I'm relying on while we're all going through this very difficult time. So if you would just like to chat stuff positive and see maybe what might also work for you, then keep watching. So I just want to start this video by saying that I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all safe and well and doing the best that you can in these circumstances. I still find like filming videos really weird. I never know how to get my words out, never know what to say, but I do still want to be here. I do still want to be working, and I want to be making videos that hopefully you enjoy and that will keep you company or give you something to do for 20 minutes depending on how much I ramble. Now these are all things at the moment that are just things that I feel are helping me a lot in various different ways. Some of them are really silly or minor or like, you know, just random parts of life, and then other things are things that I've just found useful. And I think it's good for everybody to find these sort of things that like make your days a little bit brighter. Maybe they're coping mechanisms or something like that. So I have a list of things. I've written them down on my phone, because otherwise I lose track a little bit, as you're probably used to by now if you've been a long time subscriber. But I'm going to crack off first with entertainment. Now, staying home, staying safe, you know, protecting those that you love, protecting the NHS. In theory, when you sit and think about it, isn't a difficult thing. What's that? We have to stay inside and just chill out together as a family and watch some telly and all that jazz. Oh, that's not too bad. But realistically, it is actually quite difficult. Everything that we know to be normal has pretty much gone from our lives, and you get very closed in. And I feel like I'm crawling the walls sometimes. So television is a good form of escape for Mark and I. It's what we like to do when the kids have gone to bed most of the time. We all separate off and do our own thing as well, but I'll touch on that in a minute. But there are a few things that we have really been enjoying, and I just wanted to make a note of them. The first one I probably don't even need to talk about, because if you know who Carol Baskin is and Joe Exotic, then I'll leave it there. But for those that don't know, if you've not seen Tiger King on Netflix yet, you need to get on it. You need to get yourself over to Netflix and you need to watch it, because it's as weird as it is wonderful. And I'm not going to go any further into it. I just feel like Netflix are brilliant at making documentaries that are just really freaking weird. Like Don't F with Cats. I do swear quite a lot actually. I'm mindful that you might be watching with children. Also a very good one though if you've not seen it. Both of these definitely don't watch with children around, but they're nice when the kids are in bed. Maybe you're having a well-needed glass of wine and you just want to unwind and look at somebody else's very strange life, then definitely have a watch. We enjoyed it anyway. We found it bizarre and slightly hilarious and slightly disturbing, all mixed into one big cat-shaped ball. The next thing, completely different, is This Is Us. Now, I feel like the first series kind of came to the UK and quite a lot of people liked it, but then it just became harder to watch. There's been series 2 and series 3, and I believe that series 4 is in the making, or well, probably not at the moment, but it's going to be released in the US first and then it will come over here. I think that we watched it on Amazon Prime, which is another fantastic way to watch telly at the moment. But the third series is what we started watching just as lockdown hit, and we loved it. Both of us just really enjoyed it, and it's quite a triggering watch. It follows 3 siblings, triplets I guess you could say, and that will make more sense if you've seen it, but it just follows their lives and they have ups and downs. It follows like them trying to piece together who they are and all of their past and their parents and that kind of thing. And I'm not selling it very well, but I just don't want to go into it too much because it will ruin so much for you. If you haven't watched it, if you like Mandy Moore and if you like Milo Ventimiglia, which I do because I think he's well fit, then definitely give it a watch. It's fantastic. I think maybe all 3 series are on Amazon Prime now, so if you want to start watching it, there is the best place to look. Then the other thing that we're watching, which is also on Amazon Prime, is a series called Modern Love, and this is fantastic. It's a series of really short stories looking at modern examples of love. We've only seen 3 episodes, but both of us again absolutely love it. Every episode has a famous person in it as like the lead, which is really, really nice to see, because you just see people like Anne Hathaway, for example, and you just don't expect to see her there. But the episode starts and all of a sudden you're just gripped into this different person's story, and it looks at things like single parenthood, it looks at cheating and unrequited love, having relationships when you're bipolar, loads of different like stories and topics. And I just think it's a beautiful thing to watch at the moment, because if there's one thing that we need to be reminded of at the moment, it is how powerful love is. Am I right? Let's not get emotional there. And then the last two that I want to mention are two that we are about to watch. The first one is Killing Eve, is now available. I think it's BBC iPlayer, and that's the third series, which Mark and I are gagging to watch. I cannot wait. If you've not seen it before, it's just fantastic. I'm not even going to say anymore, just watch it. If you like thrillers and like murder and that kind of thing, it's cracking, and also really funny at the same time. It's black comedy. It's amazing. And then the final thing that is on Netflix is a short series. I think it's 4 episodes, and it's called Unorthodox, and it is about a woman that flees an arranged marriage, and it kind of all catches up with her. Those are the two things that I've like bookmarked to watch with Mark, so I thought I would mention those as well, so you've got like a nice selection of things to watch that might help you too. It's just nice to have something that you can escape into in the evenings, I think, because during the day I get very like worked up eventually by the end of the day. I find being on my own with 3 kids while Mark's up here working. Mark's desk is literally just to the side of me here. Our bedroom is rammed at the moment. I've made it look like it's nice and spacious and lovely, but in reality it's just not. It's really not. And he's up here, I get very like tired, I get overwhelmed, I'm like exhausted by the end of the day, just because it's like mental, physical, emotional stress of it all. Like, you've got to cater to their needs, you can't go out, you're catering to your own emotional needs because you're worried and concerned, and then by the end of the day, just sitting down with him and taking some time out and getting lost in some fictional story, or non-fictional as Tiger King maybe, it's just amazing, and we both really look forward to those parts of our evenings. Now, as I mentioned though, we both do need time apart, and one thing that I like to do is read. He likes to do the general bloke stuff, he likes to play FIFA, he likes to watch his own telly that I just think is a bit shit. And he also does a quiz on a Sunday night with his mates, and they do it on like Facebook Messenger. They like video call each other and they do like a football quiz. When he's doing that and when the kids are in bed, I read. And I've done a video, I have a book as a prop here for you. I've done a whole video on like my reading list at the moment, so if you do want some like suggestions for escapism, that kind of thing, then definitely go and watch that, because you might find it useful. I will leave it linked down below for you. This is the one that I'm going to move on to next. I've nearly finished the one that I'm reading at the moment, and then the next one I want to read is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I have no idea how to say his surname. I'm sure somebody out there will do, but I'm very, very excited to read this one. And reading is just, it's the only thing right now that is wholly mine. And I hope that makes sense, but I don't have to do it with anybody else, and it's my thing. Because in my house, to be honest, I can't even have a bath on my own, because if those kids know I'm in the bath, they will barge down the door. And reading is my thing, like it's the only thing that's just for me, and I feel like I really need that at the moment. I need space, and I need somewhere to like switch off, and it distracts my brain from like overthinking, which is something that I fall victim to a lot. I make myself really over anxious, and reading has just been helping me massively, and I have always got a book on the go at the moment, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So if you want some book suggestions, head on over to that video. Another thing that I have found really, really like helpful for me is cleaning and organising, and also dividing the day, and I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. But the whole cleaning thing, I just feel like it creates a little bit of order for me. It's helping me a lot. Like, I like to get a bit of order, I like to get a bit of control. It also helps me when I think of things like germs and a certain virus that shall not be named. I feel like I should call it like Voldemort or something. But it helps, and I've been like finding little jobs to do, like sorting out an old drawer or two, or just like reorganising something that I've been meaning to do for a while. Mark's been exactly the same, and I feel like we might as well do it if we're stuck in and we've got some spare time. And I've also also really enjoyed the fact that the sun is out again. Like, just putting washing out on the line is such a nice feeling, because not only does it save money, but it's like just really therapeutic to do. And I don't know if that's just me, but it just gives me a real sense of satisfaction, and I love like seeing it out there, and I love how it smells afterwards. So that's been another thing that has just weirdly brought me loads of happiness, and if that's sad, I'm all for it. I'm here for that. And then the thing that I meant before about like dividing the day, obviously this house is mainly where we reside, like for 99.999% of the time. We are trying to limit how much we go out for walks as a family, because we are lucky to have a garden, and we're trying to make sure that we use that as our main form of exercise and save walks and things like that for like special days, just because I feel like it's going to keep us safer and other people safer in the long run. And while the kids are doing fine, then we will stick to that. But the house, it just becomes a very samey place. So it's like our bedroom is now somewhere that Mark also works. I also film in here, we sleep in here, then we go downstairs and we're doing like, we're playing games, we're on the telly. I also work down there as well. We're doing homeschooling. There's stuff everywhere. Like the kitchen has become another space where we're in there even more than normal, and everywhere just feels like a bit jumbled up. And what I like to do when Mark is sorting the kids out, he will take them upstairs and get them ready for bed, like sort pyjamas out and stuff, or we'll do bath time. While he's doing bath time, I will then whiz around and give everywhere a quick hoover, quick wipe down. I will put my wax melts on or spray a bit of air freshener and make it feel like a really, really calm adult space for the evening. Now we generally do that anyway most nights, and we always have done, but it's had more of a significance now, because I just feel like once we've got them in bed and we walk back down, we just feel a lot calmer, and then it feels like we've got our own domain back, and it's really been helping us. So I thought I would say that as well. Another thing that's really helped me is music, and rediscovering music from times in my life where I have just been really, really happy. So when I was like in the very early stages of my relationship with Mark, he introduced me to Spotify. I didn't have a clue what Spotify was at the time, and I made myself a playlist, and I would add songs on there like from my past or that reminded me of him in our relationship, and that playlist I have added to and added to and added to, and I call it the happy list, and I've always called it that. And when I play that now, sometimes it can be quite an emotional listen, because I'm just taken back to like certain memories, but it just makes me so happy, and it just reminds me that like things will get better. And I know that is a really, really soppy way to look at things, but you know, this is just the things that work for me. And I love music. It's a huge part of my life, and I find that like sticking that on, cooking, having a glass of wine, and like taking it slow in the kitchen, maybe the kids will be like watching something, or they'll be playing around me or helping me, or they'll have gone outside with Mark, and I just feel like that music is just makes me feel really, really good. So I mean, I'm sure you're all doing it anyway, but I just thought I would mention that. If you would like me to like share my awful taste in music, then let me know, and I will let you know the link to the happy list. But promise to not make fun of me, because my taste in music is dire. I'm not even going to lie. So now I'm going to quickly move on to things, and I don't want to touch on things too much in this, because it's more about like feelings and feeling better, but sometimes things do help. And the first thing that I want to touch on are pyjamas. Now it's quite easy to sink into a bit of like a trap in terms of just like wearing comfies all the time, which I have been doing, but I've always made sure in the evening, no matter what I've worn during the day, that I change into my pyjamas, and they're like pyjamas that feel like nice for me. And I have this pair, I don't know if they're going to be a bit of a Marmite thing as I would normally say, but they're from ASOS, and they are floral. I loved the blue and the green. Really liked them, and they're a bit jazzy, I know, but they come with like trousers and then like a shirt. I really like them. They're so comfortable. They've just come off the line actually, so they smell amazing. But just having something to put on that makes me feel again a bit more grown up at night, even though they're only pajamas, but they like just remind me to sort of like relax and calm down. So I really love them. I got those from ASOS, I would say probably a couple of months ago, so I'm guessing that they are still on stock, but whether or not you're ordering things or buying things is completely up to you. Just be sensible, I feel like I should say that. And then two other things are things that I've been reading through my drawers for, to be honest, and it's fake tan, which sounds like such a stupid thing to be thinking about at a time like this, but it's been helping me just feel a bit better about myself. I'm not going out, I'm not exercising the way that I used to, I'm not getting as much fresh air, I am comfort eating and probably drank more alcohol than normal if I'm completely honest with you, and I don't feel great. I'm also stressed, I'm also like overwhelmed, I'm also feeling really emotional, and just sometimes feeling a little bit better about myself has like that extra oomph in it to get me through the day a bit better, and I just feel a bit more practical and like productive, and I can do this. So this I've had for ages. It lasts such a long time. It's not cheap by any means. I think it's about £22, but my word, it lasts you ages. And it is the Saint-Tropez Self-Tan Purity Spray, and this is for the face, and I use this every morning, and I put it on, let it dry, and then once it's dried I go on with my moisturiser and my foundation, that kind of thing. And I don't know if you can tell, but I do have a bit of a glow about me. For me, these lights will wash me out a little bit, but it's fantastic. And then to go along with that, I've also, this is nearly gone, which is very sad, but it's the Saint-Tropez Gradual Tan Watermelon Infusion. This is just a little bit more moisturising than like a normal self-tan. This smells amazing. It's not really got that biscuity smell at all, and it gives you a really, really nice like colour. I don't know if you can see, but I am browner at the moment, and I've loved using those. I don't use that one every day, but just as my tan wears off, I'll put that back on again, and it just makes me feel a little bit better. And then to go with that, just little things again that I've used before and loved. I've like revisited some favourites, and I found this in our, like, we have a cupboard in the bathroom where we keep all of our smellies and whatnot, and I found this in the back, and I remember how much I loved this. I think it was like last summer, and it's the Cherry Bakewell Imperial Leather like shower cream, and it smells like you just want to eat it. It smells so nice, and just putting this on in the morning, like I've used it like for about a week now, but it's just made me feel really like happy when I have a shower. That weird. So that was another thing. And then the two final things, let me check my list. Yeah, the two final things are edible, and the first one is a whipped coffee, or a Dalgona coffee if you've never had one before, and I will like insert a little clip of like how you make it and stuff, but it's basically 2 teaspoons of instant coffee, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and then 2 teaspoons of boiling water, and you whisk it with an electric whisk until it basically goes like meringue in texture. That's what you want it to look like, so that kind of like soft meringue before it's been cooked, and you put it on top of ice and milk, and you like stir it through, have it with a straw. It's amazing. It's a fad. It's a very like Instagrammy, TikToky thing, but it's so good, and I've really enjoyed making one of those like for myself when I fancy it, just as a treat, especially when the sunshine's been out. It just feels right, feels good. And I do miss like my iced lattes from Costa and stuff, so it's nice to make something for myself at home. And then the final thing are Ferrero Rocher eggs. They're like little mini eggs, and they are so nice. And I saw them when I was doing one of our shops, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, and I bought them, and I like resisted them for ages because I bought 2 bags for like, I don't know how much it was, like £3 or something, but they're amazing. So next time you go out for your essentials, by all means have a nosy for them while they're still in stock, because they are lovely, and I've been having a few of those every night.